So today is February 22nd, 222 or 222:24. And this morning I was getting ready. No, baby, wait till we get at it. I was getting ready for the day this morning. I was in the shower, and I typically sing whatever song is just in my mind, just randomly, like most people do, I imagine. And this morning I started singing All My Life by Casey and JoJo. And as I was singing those lyrics, no, it's not down enough. As I was singing those lyrics, all my life I'll pray for someone like you, and I thank God that I finally found you. It dawned on me this morning that all my life. Yes, baby. You want your window down too? Huh? There you go. Huh? It dawned on me this morning that, yes, baby. No, we can't get up. We gotta go get daddy. That not all my life, We'll get you a banana, baby. I prayed for him. I mean, I prayed for someone like him. And when I got him, I didn't know what to do with him. You want me to put the window back up? I think sometimes when we pray for things, and I'm not, my religious beliefs are not what they have ever been, I think. What's burning up, honey? What's wrong with your ear? You want me to put the window back up? You're welcome. I'll just put this one down. Anyway, sometimes when we pray for things and we expect them to come to us in its most perfect form. I see, baby. Not realizing that when you pray for things and those things are what you pray for is what's meant to be yours. When they come into your life, they're meant to come into your life to do exactly what you need them to do. And you might not you don't always like what you need. So when you pray for things or people or a type of person, and you get that type of person, you can't expect that type of person to be everything that you didn't pray for or you did pray for. You might have said, I want, yes, baby. You might have said that, you wanted you wanted a man that would, protect you and love you and, keep you safe and take care of you and all these things. And then you get a man that wants to do those things, and you didn't really understand what all of that entails. You didn't understand that sometimes, like a kid, okay? I'm likening myself to a kid right now, but as a mom, sometimes your kid wants to do things that you can't just allow them to do in the way that they would have done it. Sometimes your kid sees a pretty puppy across the street or a ball rolling across the street, and the first thing they want to do is dart out in front of that street and go get it. And you as the parent, me as the mom, I have to say that's not safe. I can see the danger of what you're doing. You can't see the danger of what you're doing because all you can see is that ball or that dog or your friend or whatever. So I have to stop you, grab you by the arm, pull you by your collar. If you mid-dart, I have to stop you, not hurt you, but I have to stop you from putting yourself in the midst of danger like that. That's my job. And so when he would say things to me like that, I would push back because I said I want somebody to protect me. I didn't say I wanted somebody to protect me. Now it doesn't make any sense. But I still wanted to be able to run across the street if I wanted to run across the street. And he's like, no, you can't run across the street. I'm not going to let you. And I'm like, you're just controlling. And you won't let me be free. And so I'm just going to go out there and be free. And then I got out there to the end of the driveway, closed. The world feels so big. It feels so alone, but it feels so full at the same time with all these people now surrounding me, and they're like, I'm here to help you, and I'm like, then they do, but it's just not the same. Huh? Are we going underground? Why would we go underground? Oh, I don't know, baby. Do we need to go underground? Okay. There's just something different about having your village. Like, I think about, like, my best friend and I, we talk about the village, you know, and like in some African countries, or just, you know, countries of community, villages like that, you have all these women who are surrounding you. You know, if you have to cook something and your baby's hungry, the mama next door might breastfeed your baby, whatever, you know, it's a village. And so we're like, women, village, you know, we can, yeah, woman strength. But then those women also have a man that's just not home in that moment, but they still have that peace, that security, that comfort of knowing my protector is coming back home, you know. And I completely, fully took that for granted, and I have never in my life had a man to protect me where I felt protected. And if nothing else, I've never felt unprotected with, lately in my brain, I've just been calling him my husband again, so we're just gonna go with it. But I've never felt that. Even if somebody, you know, gives me a little bit, I've never felt safe. I don't know, my brain was just kind of just now like, there's a difference between being protected and feeling safe. Because somebody could be standing in front of you trying to protect you from whatever's in front of you, but you still may not feel safe. I feel like if there was danger in front of me and he was standing in front of me, and in between the danger and I would feel safe and protected. And I never thought about that until just now, but there is a difference. And so when I was out in the middle of the street, and then all my neighbors, all of my community of women started coming out, even some men, my dad, Grady, you know, I have people, and I love those people. I love Grady, I love my dad. But they're my dads, you know. It's not the same. Like, once you grow up and you get married, and they kind of hand you off, and so I don't get that same feeling of protection. But anyway, once my village of women started coming out, and they're like, I got you, I'll carry you. And I'm like, I'm very grateful. I don't want to sound ungrateful by any means, but hold on, baby. It's not what I was needing, what I've ever needed, because I think I've always had to be, I don't know, sweetheart, I think I've always had to be in a fight or flight, or freeze. You know, I've always had to be in that mode, and I think that I was in the flight more than anything, and the freeze, you know, not often at all, but sometimes I would get in the freeze mode. But I'm not really a fighter. I have learned through this process that I am a planner. I can plan. Great at planning. I don't want to execute the fight. And so these however many years, it's been almost 2.5 years. You giving that to me? I've been planning to be a successful mother, a successful single mom. I've been planning to, you know, go through the court process. We went through the divorce, and I planned my way through that. And on paper, it looked really good. But I don't want to execute. And what I want to execute, I've learned, is motherhood. I want, like, no matter which direction I go in business and just life as a mom, as a woman, everything just kind of brings me back to this feminine energy that I felt like I had to push down because I was in protection mode. I felt like I had to protect myself against my protector because I didn't like or understand the way he was protecting me, because I'd never been protected in that way. And so to me and a lot of society, that protection was controlled. And he's as perfect as I am. There were definitely some faults that brought me to the conclusion that I was in. But a lot of the things that was happening was not a fault. Because there were faults, I categorized all the other things I didn't like into that faults category too. And I didn't know how to separate that. I didn't know how to do the communication thing, because for me, if I say it and you don't hear me, I did my job. You didn't listen. And so, you can do better by yourself. That's a lesson that I got, And we have 2 beautiful children together. And I know, if I know anything about that man, if his kids are going that way, he's not going to go that way. And so my entire life, he would be a part of my life. As long as our kids are a part of my life. And so I had 2 options. I could spend my life running from him, trying to stop him from being in our lives and suffering and misery for all of us, or I could embrace him and try to understand what was happening. If you're going to be in my life anyway, I might as well love you in my life, because I do. I never stopped loving him. I stopped liking him. And I had to fight myself. These 2.5 years, almost 3 years, I had to fight myself, because every time I made a move, if I responded in a way, or if I didn't respond in a way, my brain is like, what are you doing? Flash, red signal, red flag, what are you doing? Back up, retreat, stop it. But I put so many people in our business, family, friends, and the court system and all that. And then I had all these people in my mind, like, don't do that, because now I made this decision, and now I have to woman up to myself and say, you made the wrong one. And so now I had to get out of, and I still have to, but I'm more comfortable, but I had to get out of the thought process of, they're going to think this if I go back. But I look at their lives, and no shade, no judgment, but nobody, my dad has been with this woman for, my sister's 28 this year. They've been together for a long time. And I couldn't for the life of me understand how, after almost 30 years, I'm just driving, passing my exit because I'm running my mouth. I couldn't for the life of me understand how, after 30 years, almost, you are as unhappy as you are, but you won't leave. After 30, 20-some years, are you still there? Like, I actually told my dad to promise me something like 4 or 5 years ago. And I said, promise me that you won't die unhappy. And in my brain, because I was already in the process, like mentally, I was leaving my marriage, because I thought that my unhappiness stemmed from that. And so I was telling my dad, don't die unhappy. Promise me that. Because in my mind, I was thinking, you're unhappy in a relationship. Why are you in it? I don't understand. Like, your kids are grown, this and that. And he never left. I mean, he says now, like, he's leaving and this and that. And I feel bad because, he's my dad. He's a whole grown man out here, I'm not going to person to being a grandparent with a person. And now the dynamic that you guys had for the bulk of your relationship has completely shifted. Your kids are grown. They have their own families. A lot of them are out of the house doing their own thing, or, and now you have to find a new dynamic for your relationship. And I can't imagine what that's like. Where's your balloon? Yes, baby. I hate the narrative that I got that it was okay to just run away and try again elsewhere. Because in all these years, my brain is everywhere, so I'm just talking it out. But all these years, I met spouse, this is what I used to call him, in 2012. And since then, last night I actually told him that I haven't been with, in any capacity, another man. I know, we're going to get daddy. And all those years. And I should have said I haven't been with anybody, just because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to omit some fact in there, but I have not. And he and I have a connection. I have an appreciation for him on a level that I don't think I could ever get anybody to understand. And the physical aspect of things, many aspects, huh? Yes. Ask your dad and see what he says. We're about to be at his house. I mean, at the house. And I'm not gonna get into that on this particular, video, but the point of it is, polish your nails. Okay. I am not a casual, satisfy and itch type of person at all. At all. So my brain, this whole time, I'm not thinking like I have had moments of I just want to be held and things like that, but my brain has never, I can't imagine being held by another person. Because even though I left, in my mind, he's still my person. And I don't want anybody else in that space. And I really, the way I left and the way that things happened, and Sierra been born and whatnot, I can understand why people would think that it had to have been another person in the formula to make me react that way. But it is so important to me that he knows and understands that I am just as much he is inside and out in that way and many others as I was in the beginning. And I made that mistake in the beginning, and that was then, and it was completely emotional screw up. I felt unseen and all these things, and so my young and broken mind was like, well, if he's like, just go communicate with your friends about those emotional things. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I want a man's perspective on these things. I didn't want a man's perspective on these things. I wanted my man's perspective on these emotional things. And so I think I reached out to somebody that I knew was untouchable. No matter who it was, I don't think I would have ever gone, crossed that line, because it matters to me. Like, the physical aspect, that being for him, matters to me, regardless of what it looked like. I know that for me. But I made that mistake of being in conversation, and I regret that big time. That was my one mistake, my only mistake, in that, as far as other people and all that stuff. But I don't know where I'm going with this. Cut down all these dang trees. Just pisses me off when I see that. Yeah. Yeah. They are beautiful. We love trees. My point is, I love him. I prayed for someone like him all my life. Even when I wasn't praying, I was praying. You do? I think there's something to say. Yeah. I feel like he'd have been hopping, skipping, and jumping on the way, you know. Yes, baby. I didn't realize. It was. I never realized how much I needed him. Because he's something like no one I've ever met has ever met. And it's hard to accept that he is so big in it. Yep. Sometimes. But I'll say this because we're pulling up. When he's with me, when he's with us, I am a completely different person. I'm a completely different parent because I can let go and I can just be, you know, what I want to be. And it's a mom. It's a completely different. Like now, I can feel the difference between being a masculine energy and feminine. Okay, I can feel it, and I'm aware of it, and I love being in my feminine energy. And hold on, baby. Let's call Daddy. I'm grateful for him, and I love him. And although sometimes I may not like him, I like him right now. Okay, Daddy. I understand now, and I'll continue to grow in this understanding. We've been doing this since I was 22, 23, 20. I think I was about 22. And I'll be 36 this year. And I don't want to spend any of my life with anybody else. And I don't want him to spend any of the rest of his life without me. Anyway, but we're here, and I just want to get that out on the ride. And so, I love you guys.